side of the road.
Should be. I'm bringing the Supra in the afternoon.
Damn. And so Daryl smoked me on Sunday.
I was not expecting. I was not.
Look,
Was it side by side or are you
it
following?
was side by side.
Yeah.
A rolling start. However, now look, the Supra is fast as I agree. And I acknowledge it, and I am not embarrassed about losing to a Supra. However, I do think I was in the wrong gear.
That's what I think.
I'm not making any excuse.
No. I for that to happen the way that it happened, I was thinking like, no, we have to run again.
Yeah.
That was not.
Yeah. Because my maximum boost is anywhere from about 3,500 to about 5,500.
Yeah.
Me and you were going at about maybe 50 miles per hour in the beginning. At that time, I'm already like having to shift up into the next gear, and so I wasn't building up enough boost. I think so.
That's where I think like we have to do it again. In particular, what I found out very quickly, third gear in the Supra is long.
Yeah.
My turbo starts spooling around like 3,500, and even though my red line is like a little past 7, that just pull from third, that entire pull that we did, I didn't shift.
You didn't shift?
No.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So like if we're rolling, my turbo is spooling already, and we go, I'm gone.
No, I think you guys gotta like kind of explain what shifting is to maybe some of our fans out there.
Oh, I thought this was just a conversation that we were kind of having, but if this was going to be our introductory.
Well, this is our introductory. So before we address everything that's happened, so in our long absence, we've assembled some new cars, and
I guess we're just going to jump in.
Oh yeah. Wait. We're back.
Yay, we're back. Welcome back.
Made it. We're still alive.
Jadacast episode 30.
Is it 30?
It's episode 30. Our last one with Sean Lee was 29, so we're back.
That was the last one.
That was our last one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just got flashbacks of when you guys did the podcast without me, and then Jordan was just like, "Yo, yeah, he got fired," and then he got like the memory. And for all of us right now, that's just like the flashback that I got right now because we've been away for a little bit.
Oh yeah, man, that was funny.
Yeah,
man, I was roasting you while you were gone.
That was a good one. I'll admit it. All right, fine.
Yeah, yeah, but so a lot of things have a lot of new things have happened since we took a short hiatus. Prepared to get back at this. We're going to be doing podcasts every single week. We're going to have all kinds of new stuff coming out, and I can't wait to share it with y'all. How about you guys? I'm just putting them on the spot right here.
We're a little rusty.
Yeah. So
I'm definitely.
let's start this over. Hi, I'm Mike. If you guys forgot,
I'm Daryl.
I'm Jordan. Well, I'm Jordan / Super Saiyan.
Super
Jordan
Saiyan.
now.
Fro Q.
Yeah, for everyone out there, in the last episodes I had black hair, but now I'm on to like some Stormborn stuff. Right now. I'm on that. I'm on that.
Good, man.
Well, Game of Thrones swag. Thank you. So bleached hair.
Yeah,
Bleached hair,
that's
don't
not the only thing that's new. I mean, a bunch of things in your life that's new,
dude. So as y'all know, I think it was back in episode 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
That I stated that I'm planning to get a particular car. By the way, do not go back and watch episode 3 and 4 because I absolutely sucked in those episodes.
It's all about growth.
It is agreed, and we've grown a lot. I mean, starting off, even though I'm rusty right now, I don't feel as bad as I did in those first 8 episodes. But anyway, so I picked up a 2017 Infiniti Q60 3.0.
And
Round
did
of
someone
applause.
win that guess your car?
So somebody
contest?
actually did guess my car, and then I told them to send us a DM on Instagram, and they never did. And I'm
really?
and I'm like, I was about to send you a bunch of free stuff, man. What's up?
All right, confession. That was me.
I knew it had to be somebody who I did know.
So did we ever announce
just
what
kidding.
it was
It wasn't me.
on the pod?
I never announced it formally, but the person, he guessed it just flat out. He's like, Jordan drives a 2017 Infiniti. No. Before that, Jordan drives a Suzuki Hizashi.
I feel like it's somebody within our group of friends, though.
Well, you know what? I think that he was able to figure it out because it was on that episode with us three and
Josie.
Well, Josie.
Yeah.
And when I pulled up the picture of the Suzuki, and she roasted that car, and just the feeling of just heartbreak on me. It was just too obvious at that point.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the.
Well, we had to give
funniest
some hints because that's a pretty obscure car for anyone to know.
Yeah,
I mean, even
definitely.
car guys. I mean, I didn't know what that's the name of that car.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I would
It's-
never have guessed that car.
It's JDM as
Mhm.
F. You know, yeah. But yeah. So that's gone now, and so I got the Infinity Q60, and let me tell you something, guys. I love it. You know, I still have this. I have this weird feeling because like for me, I'm in this point as to where I've never had a real car, and so everything is just so brand new to me that I still have this feeling of, is this real? Kind of sometimes, you know. But I'm just really happy to have it. Super grateful for it, and let me tell you something. I'm going fast with it as far as speeding and as far as just modifications go.
Yeah. This guy's he hasn't stopped
every
since
week
Yeah,
there's
so the
something
news
new.
coming in the mail.
Literally, I've done more to my car build wise than most. I've done more to my car in 3 months build wise than most people have done in 3 years to their car.
I believe it.
So yeah, I need to slow down. But
It's
I
a
think
rabbit hole, man.
it is. It is. Every single day I'm on the forums, just learning something. Every single day I'm looking at just new parts to buy. And I'm
I
like,
don't know. I still think Daryl got you beat though, with how much he's put into a car.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
In one shot.
big time.
Wait, we talk about the truck?
Yes.
He doesn't even know which one
The
it
truck.
is.
Yeah, the truck.
I don't even
That's
know
different.
which call you're talking about.
That's different.
It's different. Yeah, I understand that, but
That's different because that's a collaboration
between a bunch of
Yeah. No, I wouldn't count that. Jordan still got me beat.
I would count it.
All right. I mean, if you guys want to, I don't count it. That's its own little project.
Well, see, yours is so cool because but you were smart enough to figure out, how can I get all this paid for without having it come out of my pocket? And I'm like,
Joint collaboration. I think there's mutual benefits there, and of course, I think all parties involved
Yeah.
have an obligation to some degree, right? So it just so happens that you're in a good spot, and I think if you're able to make it happen, more power to you. And as long as you stay on, you kind of see it through, then you're all good.
Yeah.
But I don't. For me, I don't count that.
So what do you count so far then?
What? No?
I'm just
I just don't go like as fast anymore with the modifications
yeah.
aspect of it. Yeah, not like you. Every week there's a new part coming in.
Yeah,
yeah, and he's doing it just for himself too. Like the way Daryl and I had to do it, we're doing it because we had to meet a show deadline.
Show deadline or like obligation.
Yeah.
I think there's more business involved in it.
Yeah.
Well, not I think I know. There's more business involved in it when you're bringing on like different companies and things like that to get behind the build. But what's cool about yours is from a true enthusiast point of view, where it's very organic in that way, because you're actually having to do your research. You're actually having to decide what part is, either most beneficial or looks better or just caters to, I think, the taste and vision that you have for your build.
Yep.
You have full control over what that is.
Yeah.
So I think that's the cool part.
It really becomes something that you sort of obsess over because it's becoming a part of your identity in a way too,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a reflection of who you are.
Yeah,
and I think-
you're getting every piece that you want.
Mm.
You're doing your own research. You're figuring it out. Like, oh, this one is what looks good. This is what I want. This is the style I'm looking for. This is the sound I'm looking for. Where Daryl and I had to go a different route, and we're kind of seeing who can partner with us for a certain thing that we need. And you're locked into what they have.
Yeah.
So it's a little less personalized than your build would be.
Yeah.
Right. Well, so with your guys' builds, would you say that you have reached a happy middle ground of personal fulfillment with your build now, while also meeting the business needs of it too? So would you guys say that you're pretty happy with that, or would you say that I kind of wish I could have went this way instead of that way?
I'm content.
Yeah,
I'm pretty content with how it turned out. My whole build, the idea behind my build was to keep the TRD Pro parts intact, get parts that will enhance those parts, and then put things on there that will help me to enjoy the truck even more, because we like to go off-roading, we like to go camping, so taking us places where we can enjoy those types of activities. And all the companies that partnered with me are, exactly what I wanted.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't complain, and and it's awesome. We're able to do all the stuff that we want to do, and everything that we put on it did everything that we were expecting.
And they couldn't have chosen a better guy in you, because you're using that to its fullest potential every single weekend.
Yeah, we go out quite a bit.
Yeah, I love it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think along the same lines for me. Although with the Raptor was going more towards kind of sacrificing a little bit in terms of its true performance capability and things like that, more for the aesthetics of it. So with a lot of the companies that I partnered with in particular, I had Jada in mind as the end be all end all type of thing, as far as it being rolling into the casting for the Just Trucks assortment.
Yeah. So the reason for being was different from what mine was.
Right. So I'm kind of thinking along the lines of okay, if we're going to go along with this build and utilize these parts, and also kind of have some sort of Jada DNA rooted into it, how would that translate into a diecast execution? Mike and I have had talks behind the scenes of wanting to re-elevate the Just Trucks brand. Mm-hmm. And we felt that the Raptor in particular could be the first domino to fall to reinvigorate it by bringing on these aftermarket companies that are pretty notable within the truck industry. You have Addictive Desert Designs, you have Method Race Wheels, you have Rigid on board, right? So some pretty big names. Ibach, yeah. So that was kind of my direction with it.
Yeah.
And as far as your own personal stuff, I think when you own the car, it's hard not to mix your personal feelings with it, but you do kind of ensure that you have your personal flair to it,
right? For
sure. As far as a representation for you, the Raptor's not done, but it's getting there.
Yeah, it's man, well, quite a transformation that's gone through already.
Yeah,
man, let me tell you. So me and Daryl on the way to work sometimes. Well, there's an empty side street that cuts through a ton of traffic, and so him and I will be driving side by side, doing some stupid stuff immediately. And when his Raptor is next to my low ass car, and I just see this thing next to me, it's overwhelming. It's scary. I feel like I'm about to be swallowed up by a great white shark or something. It's just so big and agile and just menacing. It just terrorizes the road. I love it.
Yeah. The funniest thing is with the blow off valve, as it rolls by you, it's
just farts on you.
It's what's this? Get away.
And that's another interesting thing about it too, is that I didn't know that trucks could have a blow off valve. But you're the only guy I know of with a truck that has a blow off valve.
It's pretty common.
Is it?
Yeah,
okay. It's going to be a lot more common coming for because that Raptor set that trend, I think, pretty much for that type of truck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With the V6 turbo, there's a lot of rumors that Toyota is going to come out with a V6 turbo. There's rumors about other companies doing the same kind of thing.
A little bit more efficient.
It's a lot more efficient. Yeah. Shoot, how many miles per gallon you getting on your truck?
I'm going to say the number, and people are still going to think that's bad. But for me, it's actually pretty good. I'm getting 14.
That's a lot better than 11
in a big truck. Okay? 14
7,000-pound truck, I might add.
14 in a performance truck. It's not bad.
14 is good, man. And yours is a lot heavier than mine because you got a lot more stuff on yours than I do.
Yeah. I'm coming
and
from...
you're running 37s.
Yeah. I'm coming from a previous car that got 9. So 14 is a pretty nice improvement. Yeah. So...
Yeah, well, speaking of engines, Mike, the last thing that you have to do is slap a supercharger up in yours.
He's been talking about it.
Yeah, I'm trying to get into. I'm talking to a couple of companies, but I'd love to.
Yeah, I know.
The thing is, it's so adding the turbo or the supercharger will do a couple things. Right now the engine, Toyota suggests you can go ahead and put regular unleaded. If I go supercharger, you have to go premium.
Yeah.
So there's, another expense. Like, I'm already paying $100 per fill up. And that's because at $100
it caps.
Yeah. The tank, the pumps stop. So you have to pull your card out, put your card back in, and then continue. But I just let it stop at 100 because that's
emotional.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna have to use the premium. And then, when you go to your oil changes, you're already paying for what, like 6 quarts in the 5.7 liter engine.
Yeah.
And then you put this on, you're gonna have to put a little more. I mean, there's a lot of things, good and bad.
Sounds like first world problems to me. Sounds like you should do it.
Oh man, working here, man. All these instigators and enablers.
Just think, if you supercharge your engine.
Mm-hmm.
It's better MPG.
Mm-hmm.
Better MPG means less time at the gas station. Less time at the gas station, less time you're spending $100 per fill up.
More revs.
Yeah.
More gas wasted.
He just rolls up on people. They're like, hey, fools, run it. Right here.
Yeah, I know. Oh, man.
I say do it. Just send it. Just do it.
All right.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll send off the proposal.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of instigation going
all
on
the
with
time,
car parts.
Dude, this place is hard. How do you think Brian got his freaking F?
the RCF. So we're going to be talking about our builds a lot more. We'll also be coming up with something else to where we highlight other people's builds pretty soon. So stay tuned for that. I'll have more information on that on a later episode. But let's address the elephant in the room for all the people who happen to maybe care, all 20 of you out there who are probably about to watch this because you've turned your backs on us. I'm just kidding.
It's better than zero.
It's better than zero, yeah. Indeed. But, where have we been these past 3 months? Well, a lot of things have changed around within the Jada Toys company. A lot of good things, actually. And we would like to share that with you, but I'm not the guy to talk about it. So I'm going to pass that off to my 2 higher ups over here to lay that out a little bit further of what's happened with Jada Toys.
I don't know. You just going to want to tag team it?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, like Jordan outlined, a good amount has happened in the last couple months, and as he said, a lot of good things. So back in November, actually, Jada Toys was acquired by Simba Dickey Group. For those that are not familiar, Simba Dickey Group, they're one of the largest toy companies out in Europe, based in Germany, actually. And their product categories span everything. You have your plush, you have dolls, vehicles, diecast, radio control, all that good stuff. So a lot of synergies and whatnot. But the actual acquisition itself became official in the new year, January 2019. And since then, a lot of development internally as far as finding out, how different synergies would go within the company and whatnot. And I think we're at a point in time now where, now that a few months has kind of come and gone, we've identified, some best practices of how we can work together and where we complement each other. So it's been an interesting process. but I think it's been fun. You know, we've kind of set a new company direction, and I think that in itself, a lot of us here relish in those kinds of challenges and want to continue to push the company forward. So that's kind of where we are right now.
Yeah. On the product development side, we have a bunch of sister companies that we can work with now. And some of these names that you are probably familiar with, Shuko, who makes high-end die-cast vehicles, really good quality stuff. We have Majorette. I'm sure you guys heard of them. Tamiya. There's a lot of other companies that we're really excited to be able to work with. And not only that, a lot of you who are international who are complaining that you don't get to see our products or is the availability. This partnership is allowing us to reach a lot farther now because of the areas that Simba Dickey is able to sell to, and that will make our products a lot more available worldwide. So that we're excited about that as well.
Yeah, definitely, because especially on social media, it always it frustrates me in a good way because if somebody is a fan of us, I want them to be able to enjoy our product. And I always have people in Brazil or the UK especially who are always saying like, "Hey man, I really want this stuff, but nobody here sells it. So what do I do?" And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you just yet, man.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's crazy because you don't want to say anything too much because there's a lot of things that are going on behind the scenes. Two, we do have distributors in those areas, but the way they sell to the retailers is kind of a different beast than it is out here in the United States. So it's hard to predict where those products will be showing up. And then just knowing like what's going on and with the different currencies and anything political that's going on in those countries, it also affects what's going on with us and our distribution. So it's crazy. There's a lot of moving parts that we have to kind of work with to make sure that we can get your products out there.
Yeah. And I think overall the takeaway is, not only for us here internally, but a lot of our collectors, our fans and things like that should be very, very excited for a lot of the things that are going to present itself as far as opportunities go, kind of like what Mike was highlighting a little bit earlier with our sister companies like Shuko, like Majorette. This also opens up our product development library to start introducing a lot more, different castings that maybe in the past we may have not offered. It allows us to play in different scales, to increase collectability, maybe come up with new lines, and things like that. So I think from a collector and product point of view, very exciting times ahead in terms of what Jada can now offer. And as far as the quality and things like that, from everything that we're known for, that doesn't change at all. So I think all around, it's a very, very positive takeaway, and we're all very excited for that.
Very excited. I mean, I can't wait. Ever since this whole deal went down, and thinking about it, at first you always think like, oh man, it's scary because you don't know what's going to happen. But thinking about it, it's like one of the smartest moves that has happened during my time here, because now our distribution channels just opened way wide. We have a lot more reach, and we're able to get our product way out there now. So hopefully you guys will start seeing the products in your local stores more often.
Yeah,
especially overseas.
Yeah, so stay tuned.
Yeah. Well, just a question for me. Speaking as a guy who's still pretty new to like how this whole game works. Say for example, if we're trying to get a license to a certain type of company that we just haven't been able to get them just yet. Does an opportunity like this of us being able to widen up our distribution will look good in the eyes of that for licensor that we might be trying to get? You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
I think the view or the perception around what Jada is today versus what Jada was even last year is very different, because last year the perception was, Jada is very strong in the North American market, and it's just kind of that.
Yeah.
And now you're looking at Jada as global appeal. And so when you're able to have that global appeal obviously that means more revenue opportunities around the world, and again, 100% changes the entire game for everybody involved.
Oh yeah, and from the licensor point of view, especially in entertainment, they will look at us and say, "Oh, they're a vehicle and diecast figure company. They're not really the what we call master toy license type of company because they are so focused on diecast, whether it's vehicles,
it's like
figures.
Niche, almost, yeah.
But now that we have all this backing from the Simpidigi Group and the family of companies that are with them, our what we can do is a lot more now than what we did in the past. We have the opportunity to make action figures, plush, toys, preschool toys. I mean, there's all kinds of categories now that we can go into because we have all these partnerships. Yeah. And I think as a licensor, you're like, they're suddenly have become a big player in this game. So we're a company people should be looking out for.
Yeah, for sure.
It's kind of like when when the Lakers picked up AD.
Oh,
yeah, exactly. Shout out to all my Laker fans out there. Sorry if you're a Clipper fan, I don't like you.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, from that example, I'm just saying that. So we're pretty much. So we joined the Avengers now, pretty much, kind of.
Pretty much. I mean, yeah, it's like we got recruited into this, a strong army, and it's one that you want to be part of.
Yeah. I think just from like a personal standpoint, because we could talk about like the company and how that integrates and all that stuff. But for me, it's always kind of like I enjoy challenges. I enjoy the learning experience of it all. And so to see maybe, obviously to have past experience and history with how Jada used to operate. And now you're kind of walking into this new, I don't want to call it a work environment, but you're just walking and kind of experiencing a new culture, let's say, and trying to find a way to make it work because you're coming from something that into something new. You're trying to take away the good habits and tendencies from this group and looking back at maybe your own team or the company and how you can integrate those good habits and make it into one cohesive thing to make it run, as smooth as it can during this transition. That's kind of the fascinating thing for me, but also getting to know, certain counterparts and whatnot over there in Germany.
Yes.
And kind of seeing, what goes on in their mind, how they work, how they think, things like that.
Yeah, it's crazy though, because this happened 6 months ago and the changes internally
have been a lot.
It's crazy. Yeah. And to try to figure it all out and catch up and get on the same page as everyone else is really, really hard. We're not only doing our own everyday product, but now we have all these other products that we're working with, and it's pretty tough.
Yeah,
because we just are like doubled our workload pretty much, just like that, and now we have to figure out how to make it all work.
Yeah. And but I'm glad that you both brought up those points because here's something I kind of want to elaborate upon. Well, just kind of from a student's point of view, as a leader, especially. Well, during a time when an acquisition happens like this, I think it's a natural reaction for employees and for everyone to have a little bit of fear, a little bit of apprehensiveness because human beings initially we are pretty scared of change because we don't know how that change will affect us. And so for you two as leaders in the position that you guys are at, how do you sort of bring reassurance back to your team that everything is going to work out, that everything is on the right path? How do you switch their mindset from a defensive standpoint and switch it back to an offensive standpoint? You know what I mean? So what are some of the challenges that you guys have faced in that realm, and how have you kept the teams functioning and thriving?
It's a good question.
I think I know it's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it'll vary from
We lie to them.
They're getting laid off tomorrow.
I'm sure, like, I mean, I think every manager has a different management style, right? So the way that the marketing team runs is going to be different from how PD runs, and how PD runs is going to be different from packaging and sales, and so on and so forth. But in my experience, the best thing that I've found, just personally, in anything that you do, is just to communicate facts. Right? You can't communicate that if you don't know. So part of what happened during the transition was, okay, well, then a lot of the, you have ownership meeting with a lot of the department heads, letting them know what it's going to be like, what the structure and the future of the company is going to be like. A lot of that is on management to provide and lay out the foundation and their vision for the future, and for these department heads to buy into something. I think if you're able to get people to buy into something and believe in that, then it's their responsibility to kind of disseminate that information to their immediate team. And then as a department head, you have an obligation or responsibility to your immediate team members to almost, if they are in a defensive stance, you kind of have to flip that and help them to see and understand, I think, the opportunities that lie ahead.
Yeah.
Right. And to be able to identify like the positives in this situation. And again, the same way that management has to get the department heads to buy into the vision, we have to also communicate that same opportunity to our immediate team. And then you of course, everyone is a little bit more vulnerable in this state because they're wondering what our future is going to look like. Am I going to be here long term? All of these questions naturally arise. But for me in particular, just to be able to communicate, let you guys know that if there's anything or that is a concern, I mean, you guys know all the time, it's an open door. Just pop in. We'll talk about it. Whatever problem there is, we'll figure it out. And as long as you have that department head and communication going to understand that everyone kind of has each other's backs, in my opinion, there's no reason why it shouldn't run smoothly.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is making your team members know that you are there to back them up.
Yeah.
I was told that we have to think of each of our departments as our own little business. And to make that business run, you want to make sure that your team members are going to do as good as a job as possible. So easing their nerves about the whole situation, telling them that, dude, the reason why this happened is blah, 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 blah. And when we thought of it, and we just touched on it earlier about how many positives there are to this acquisition, I really saw no negatives. The only negative is that policies may change, but those aren't negatives. Those are just, that just comes with having a change of management.
Yeah.
So it's really business as usual for us. So why do you have to stress out over it? Because it's really nothing different except for the people who are managing it from the very top. And not only is it not that much more different, but we're actually gaining a lot more positive things from the new products that we can bring in, the new distribution channels that we can get into. A lot of things are going to make it a lot more, I want to say like profitable for us, and that typically will ease the team members, nerves about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because it is scary. Because you don't know what's going to happen. Every time you hear someone taking over another company, they clear house and bring a whole new team in. Mm-hmm. But from what we're told, it's business as usual. The same old Jada.
Yeah.
We just have more products now to be able to bring to everyone.
And through it all, I think perspective is everything. How we choose to see like the outcome of the acquisition, which again, so far, everyone views it as a very positive thing and many opportunities on the horizon for sure. But I think just as a team manager overall, I think we have the responsibility to be able to communicate certain messages to our immediate team and things like that to continue to motivate and inspire and leading in that way. I don't think that changes regardless if the acquisition happens or not, because I feel like we have the responsibility to try and understand what your guys' goals are, what you guys want to achieve, and how we can help get you there, right? If we're not able to do that for you guys, and you guys are kind of complacent and stagnant, then what's it doing? So acquisition or not, I feel like that should be the responsibility anyway.
Yeah.
And in the time, of course, when big news happens, of course, like we talked about a little bit earlier, everyone's a little bit uneasy. That's natural. But as Mike said, you kind of shift perspective a little bit, and then it's business as usual.
Yeah, that's always happens though. When there's something that, like the big news that happens, everyone looks towards the negative, the negative possibilities. But what we're giving them is the positive facts, and that's a foundation that you can build upon to give them that peace of mind.
Yeah.
Well, leadership is everything on this battlefield, guys.
It is.
Yeah.
Damn.
And it starts from the way top, from people above us. They had to give us the same kind of pep talks because we had no idea what was going on. So
yeah,
people
instill that belief and lay out the groundwork for, I think, what the vision of everything can be.
Yeah.
Again, I think getting people to buy into that, believe in something greater, right? And if they're able to do that, then it trickles down. So everything starts from the top.
I'm really happy to hear that. Damn. I'm glad to be back.
We're good at lying, huh?
Dude, imagine if you were well, here's what's I want to go on about this real quick because I love talking about pathology and crazy people and serial killers. Like, there are actually people out there who just said everything that you guys said, and they're lying about it, straight-faced, and they'll slit your throat in your sleep. Like it's nobody's business.
Oh, man.
Isn't that scary?
Yeah, it is.
And there's people like that who are running companies.
It's a cutthroat. Business is cutthroat.
But business alone is cutthroat. Yeah. It's tough.
Yeah. That's scary.
I don't think that's like what a lot of people realize.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's good to be back.
Definitely. I'm happy to be back.
Yeah.
And speaking of, and so since we joined the Avengers before we close up this episode, I kind of want to lay out a few of my possibly turning fantasy into reality prospects of some new licenses that we can gain. Now, don't quote me. I'm not saying that we're going to get these guys, although eventually we might because we're awesome. But fantasy, I really hope that we bag Ferrari and Porsche. Fantasy.
Well,
I want a LaFerrari diecast, and I want a GT3 RS, GT2 RS 918.
And for those people that have actually watched this podcast for like the 30 episodes, it's no secret that me in particular, I would love a Porsche license. Like we've been talking about that for like ever. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that you don't know when it comes to getting licenses. And there's a lot of things that we want to do with these licenses. And there's restrictions that these licensors have on there to get these licenses. So there's a lot of things that, we still have to mull around to be able to get it.
Yeah.
But we're going to figure it out. So have no fear.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's kind of learning and figuring out what synergies exist between the two groups. All we can say is that maybe the Symbiotic group has a few licenses that we would want, and vice versa, and maybe there could be something that that happens later down the road.
Oh yeah, and when that happens, we'll definitely be sure to let everybody here know. So yeah. All right, guys. Any closing thoughts?
These are new. What's this? I feel like the Green Ranger.
Why am I yellow?
You're Yellow Ranger. What's this?
Black Ranger. How convenient. Hey, yo, but you know what's funny too? At our booth at Comic-Con last year,
oh yes,
our neighboring booth had the Black Power Ranger from Power Rangers,
Mighty Morphin
Power Rangers, and I thought to myself, like, I wonder how it was in casting when they told the one black guy on the show that he was going to be the Black Power Ranger. Was he like, all right, I'll do it? The Yellow Ranger was Asian.
That's what I'm saying, dude. That's why I was asking.
I love being
Pretty
a human.
funny.
It's hilarious.
So yeah, speaking of Comic-Con,
oh damn,
dude,
literally exactly a month from now.
Yeah,
exactly
1
30
month
days
from now, and we got a cool exclusive.
Yes, we do. Can we talk about it yet or not yet?
No.
Next week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So well, you tell him.
Yeah, so we got the animated series Batmobile in black chrome. We're kind of continuing that tradition of doing the black chrome edition vehicles for Comic-Con exclusive. $50. We're limiting it to 300 pieces in the United States. So
Comes in a nice enclosed collector's box with
Yep.
foil everywhere.
black foam encasing it, and
this one looks
it's
really
hot,
good.
man. It's really cool.
It's like the perfect shape. The body lines just complement the black chrome perfectly. I love it.
Yeah. Drop in a picture somewhere.
I'll insert it right here.
Yeah.
Boom.
So
So
we got
be sure to
that.
get
So
that.
yeah, come by to the Comic-Con booth. Yeah,
More information to come on that. We'll drop it on our social channels and things like that as far as like our booth location and whatnot. But if you visit us before in the past, we're in the same place.
Yep.
So
And don't be selling our shit on eBay.
I haven't seen a lot of the ones that we sold last year on eBay.
Good.
I haven't seen it at all. I mean,
Like fans really gravitate towards that, and they're keeping it from the
yeah, I think they are, especially my number one.
Oh yeah. So last year.
well, one of us in this room has the numbers now. So
Oh yeah, are they here? They come in?
what, sample?
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
we have the numbers.
oh.
all right, I have the numbers.
All right, guys. So that is the end of this podcast. We will be back next week, and if you enjoyed this podcast, be sure to like and subscribe. We will see you guys next week because we're starting back up again. We're
Yes.
gonna be
Sounds
okay. So
good.
we're about that life again. So
lot
I'm
of
Jordan.
lot of good.
Oh.
Sorry.
Damn.
I was gonna say a lot of good car content coming up too.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
guys are into that, I mean Jordan has some pretty cool content ideas coming out, so stay tuned for that.
Definitely, I'll be sure to let you guys know.
Yeah.
Well-
All right, now you can go.
All right. Damn, we're so rusty, but we're still good. We're still good.
That we are.
All right, guys. I'm Jordan,
I'm Daryl.
Mike,
and we will
Green
see you guys-
Ranger.
Are you gonna say what ranger you are, Daryl?
Huh?
Are you gonna say what ranger you are?
I guess I'm the Yellow Ranger.
And I'm a Super Saiyan. Peace out, guys. See you next week.